Let's dive right into the top 5 myths in sustainable fashion right now. Number one, sustainable fashion is too expensive. Now, there are some sustainable fashion brands out there with a higher price point. But keep in mind that price point does include, fair wages, better working conditions for the employee, paying the employee what they actually deserve for completing and making all these thousands and thousands of garments each week. It also includes better environmental practices as well. Number two, eco-friendly equals less fashionable. Now, I will say that when I first got introduced to sustainable fashion years ago, that sector or that industry within the fashion industry was still growing. It was still evolving, and so with that growing, with it evolving, there are more options now. You have more choices besides these simple silhouettes you see here. You have more options for colors and patterns and prints, and not just muted and earth tone colors. So they're evolving. Number three, only, that recycling solves everything. And that is probably one of the biggest myths or misconceptions that people have about sustainable fashion, is that we believe that, we're going to recycle our way out of this problem. And that's certainly not the case. Recycling is just one component of the solution. The sustainable fashion is very, multifaceted. And so the solution is going to involve more than one solution. And recycling is one important factor of that. Number four, that only new clothes can be sustainable. And that's not the case either. If you really sit down and think about it, what's more sustainable than something that you already have? What's more sustainable than you repairing something, instead of throwing it away in the trash can and ending up in a landfill? So, clothes you already own can be sustainable. Secondhand clothes can be sustainable. Even those vintage pieces can be sustainable. And then lastly, that sustainable fashion is just a trend within the industry. It's a buzzword. It's a way, to say, I'm doing something better than you. And that is not the case either. Sustainable fashion is not just a trend. It's more so a lifestyle. It's an adoption of a concept that says, hey, I love fashion, but I love my planet. I love the people creating the fashion more than I love just, putting on something new and changing, my wardrobe or my style.